In a world where everyone's flexing confidence and perfection, being authentic feels like rebellion. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the last episode of this year for Maybe It's Me. I'm thinking about doing another quick episode, but I know my procrastination, so I won't even hold myself to that standard. It was itching my brain to speak about something that I know I suffer from and a huge problem I see in today's society. Truthfully, I'm at a point where I'm getting a little worn out on being vulnerable and having my issues on 4K display. I think it's off the strength of people having this weird kink of finding a flaw in me and holding it above my head like a carrot to a rabbit, hoping that I drop to my knees in agony. So, off the PTSD I have from that, I'll be shifting to more lighthearted topics at hand to give me and my inner demons a break. Hope you understand. Being born in the 2000s when social media and pop culture took on a new identity of being invasive and leaving no details in mystery, we find ourselves knowing more about people we shouldn't. Think of Britney Spears, constantly harassed by the paparazzi even in her most depressing moments, or gossip blogs spilling the dirt about any and everything you wanted behind closed doors. It's like those early Y2K days prepped us for the monstrosity that is generally the internet and spewing hate with the cloak of anonymity. I think of pop culture icons such as Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, Mariah Carey, and so many more who have had their troubles publicized and shown for criticism. We can even fast forward to today with Wendy Williams, or even as something as petty as Cardi B. Nobody likes their dirty laundry in the open air. Even when you put aside clocking tea, the internet feeds the monster of comparison. With the lovely uprising of the Kardashians, even though they're emulating black women, my bad, we now have a prototype of what gains you success and happiness through the eyes of the media. If you have big boobs, a tiny waist, and a huge ass, how can you truly suffer? It's not just women. This monster conquers all. Props for equality, I guess. Speaking of me, if I'm not built like, I don't know, Ray Monte or Fat Cat, I should give it up. We are being poisoned with the air of if you don't like what you have, you can buy to enhance it. And if you don't, die. It's not that intense, but it might be as well. People would rather shit and spray Febreze than to admit their shit stank. People would rather be a star on camera than look at themselves in the mirror. And I'm not saying that to be condescending because we all fall into the trap of perfectionism. I have had social media since I was probably 7, and I can admit that it worsens me in more ways than I can count. I don't even want to post, let alone get on social media, if I don't have my shit together or look like it. In my previous episode, I mentioned that as a gay man, society conditions you to hide your femininity to appear more desirable to other men. And it's just like, what? Why do we hide and mask ourselves just to be seen as perfect? Well, it's for the same reason that I don't particularly enjoy sharing my vulnerabilities with everyone. Everyone fears being judged. We live in times where everyone can hide behind nasty ass comments through a mask of anonymity. We live in times where you can stand in a white room in front of a line of people and get balloons popped before you even utter a word based on your appearance. To make matters worse, people recorded you and showed it to millions, turning your real time reaction into something for them to laugh at. That is wild to me. You need therapy if you decide to be a part of those videos. It's just the evil world to be in. In the olden times, we feared men in pitchforks and torches. Now, we deal with the likes of social media trolls. I have been affected by said trolls since the early age of 14. There's a selective group of gay men and trans women who have spent their lives trying to put me down and make me feel worthless. And it's like, for what? I even had someone make a whole gossip page using a voice changer to expose me to try and ruin the friends I've had and everything. I caught this, excuse my language, bitch in her real voice, and she still lied to me. The whole time, the page was my friend. Like, what the fuck? She eventually didn't give a fuck and tried to expose where I worked, lived, and whatever information I had. Like, I was gagged. These little experiences that I've had regarding social media and perception made me realize your uniqueness does not matter when your kryptonite is at the height of being known. When I think of fear of judgment, I picture it as the lottery. The high school story where the townspeople stone a woman as the annual sacrifice. People avoid being stoned or judged for anything that alienates them from the perfect population. Cancel culture is the modern day stoning. Instead of being thrown with rocks, you're thrown with thousands of comments and publicized scrutiny. Some moments of cancel culture are understandable, like, you know damn well you shouldn't be making sexual innuendos with animals, portraying in blackface, or just being overtly racist. Some shit you just don't do. However, cancel culture doesn't care about a topic that is too big or too small. Anything is cancelable, and people fear that they're the next victim. It's to the point where influencers don't even believe the shit they're saying. They contradict what they say with their actions. They would somewhat appease the masses with word clutter rather than just not speaking on whatever they disagree with or have an opinion on. So, what happens? Personas are created. As a social media child, you're aware of multiple personas people use. Beyonce, Cher, and Nicki Minaj are perfect examples of public personas that we know and associate with. But there are also ordinary people who use exaggerated versions of themselves as a cloak to protect themselves. Even seeing this, multiple people pop up, and I feel as if I'm reading, but I'm genuinely not. It just has to be said regarding this topic. There are even people who portray to have this unbothered confidence to survive on social media. It's to the point that influencers and people we know follow the same format. We don't even know who's real or performing. Everybody wants to be the main character, the it girl or the it boy. I'm not saying it in regards to being the utmost confident version of yourself, but it's the notion of having the latest pieces, a big house, the newest car, and being able not to have money, but show your money. The body has to be thick, but not too thick. The lips need to be big, but not too big. The lace front has to be 613 down, and your boyfriend has to have money. Like, calm down. Oh, I forgot. You must be an entrepreneur. Lord, you are only successful if you have a business. Make that clothing line stat. Get your design from my class for only $200, and he will make you a similar logo as me. And in 10 years, you'll make the money I make if you have the connections. I want to scream, like, please leave me alone. When you try to perform under these perfect standards that nobody but social media upholds, only you suffer. I remember trying to be what everyone wanted, and it felt like a facade. When I was Trey Morbucks, I felt like that was my prime in people pleasing. I didn't even care that I was mentally suffering because I had people I could call on to fill that void of loneliness. I truly relate to Wendy Williams in her biopic when she spoke about her using substances to be more charismatic and over time feeling like she needed it to thrive socially. Not that I was heavily involved in substances, but external validation, I was addicted. When I didn't get a sufficient amount of validation, I didn't feel valued. That need for validation was so dire, I passed on a fully paid scholarship to go to Hawaii for college because I knew going to Howard would get more praise. Looking back, that wasn't me. That was a persona I created to feel valuable. The truth is, constantly performing under these standards only makes you suffer more. It alienates you. You end up scared to show your struggles because owning them shatters the perfect image you've worked so hard to build. But here's the thing, being real isn't embarrassing, it's empowering. When you're authentic, you attract the right people and opportunities. You don't have to question who's around you or what's coming your way because you're not faking anything. For me, choosing to be real gave me this podcast. It gave me listeners in 21 countries and 86 cities. If I kept hiding behind these false versions of myself, none of this would happen. I want to leave you with this. Being yourself, flaws, struggles, and all, is the real glow up. The people who try to shame you for being real, that's their own insecurities showing. Start small. Share your thoughts and feelings openly, not through a think piece you saw on Twitter or TikTok, but from your brain. Post that selfie, even if it's not perfect. Be vulnerable in little ways and watch how much freer you feel. The world doesn't need another version of someone else. It needs you. Thank you for tuning in to Maybe It's Me. I'll see you in the next episode, whenever that is, because we all know my procrastination by now. Bye.